Welcome back. We're going to get into the clothing layers section of the pack today. We're going to start first off right with the compression sack that I carry everything in. This is the Sea to Summit Ultra Sil Dry Compression Sack. This one is 14 liters. Plenty big enough, plenty big enough. I can fit this into a much smaller bag now that I know. But nonetheless, I really rely on this pack to keep my clothing dry, as that is a very important part to your core temperature management. So I definitely wanted a really good bag, and this fit the bill, although I'm sure it comes in smaller sizes. However, it works just fine, and actually I have had one boo-boo here, just a little tear in it. This is what I was talking about in the last episode with duct tape on one side and shoe goo on the other, and I have full faith in this. The actual tear is pretty small here in the center. I could even trim away the rest of this duct tape and have just the sealed section, but I figure if it's on there and it's holding, I'm totally fine with it. So in here we have basically a change of clothes and some layers. I have it kind of sectionalized by how I'm going to get into it first. So first off, when I'm really on a long camp and I want to be changing my clothes and washing them appropriately, I would have my change right on top. So my shorts, t-shirt, extra set of underwear and socks would all be on top. But generally, for most of the trips that I go on, I'm not so worried about that. So first things first is my thermal layer. This is a Thermar thermal. It is 100% polyester. It does me very well. It's plenty fine. I want to upgrade to merino wool, but this thing has kept me warm through all kinds of different weather. Most of the time, I won't even get into my puffy until late at night. I'll throw this on once the fire gets lit and the wind starts kind of maybe chilling me a bit. I'll throw on my thermal layer, and it'll do me very well. But yeah, like I said, I would like to go to merino wool. I'm sure this holds some retaining or heat retention properties once it's wet, but I want something that's going to hold more, I suppose. Maybe a little more durable. But this guy here, like I said, it's just fine. Yes, it's done me very well. We're going to go into next the beanie. This is just a 100% wool beanie. Nothing fancy about it, really. Tight knit. I kind of like the tighter knit beanies myself. Like we were talking about earlier with the... Oh god, I can't believe I'm putting this on. It's like 96 here. I'm melting. But with the flashlight, I used to weave it into this cuff. So I just poke it through and pop it out the other side. But we found that you can just slip it over this doubled part here and adjust your light really nicely. So yeah, it definitely is effective for that. With wool, I feel like this cap is a little itchy, but I have found with most of my wool products, if I'm hot, it starts to become itchy, so I just take it off, and I don't really find that I need it because I'm plenty warm enough. And when I'm cold, though, it doesn't bother me at all. I don't have any itching problems, and it sits on my head and keeps me nice and warm. It's real nice, real durable, very thick wool, so it keeps me nice and warm. Do enjoy that beanie quite a bit. But more often than not, I find myself wearing my schmog. You know, just a big piece of cotton material. I can wrap it over my head if I want, or most times I wrap it around my neck and just keep it nice and warm. Keep that, you know, kind of neck air, fill that air gap that's created when my jaw is down, and I find it really keeps that toasty and just feels good overall. At night, if I get real cold, I'll do the bandit style. It does me very well. You know, a lot of the times though, when it's not super cold, I'll just have this folded up and in my beanie, kind of how it was when I pulled out my beanie. Just like this. And this I'll put in the hood of my puffy, and the puffy keeps it in place, and it's a great pillow. really useful in that regard. So I do generally store it this way too, just for space saving and keep it all together. Right here, socks. Whoops. I just got some Darn Toughs back from warranty, so I switched over from a bit of a higher sock, which I would carry in the winter. You know, these guys here, as you can see. It saves a little bit of weight too, which is kind of nice. But, you know, in winter, these guys would probably be something I would carry. They're definitely more robust, a little thicker. These here, they're lighter weight, and a little more breathable, which is nice. They don't sweat as bad in them. But super nice. This is just their hiker crew, I believe. Really simple socks, but super durable. The other ones I have are, I wear them all the time. I had them as regular socks for a while I had those big long ones for my pack. And I love them. I wear them all the time. Into the change of clothes. Shorts. These are from Prana. They're just thin, quick drying shorts. You know? I figure if I'm carrying shorts, I want something that's, one, basically swim trunks, two, quick drying, and therefore also super breathable, so I'm not getting very warm in them. Yeah, I do like these quite a bit. I don't have any desire to switch them up. They do just fine. They're just a pair of shorts, you know. The second pair of clothing doesn't have to be as durable, because I'm not going to hike in this really. They're not like hiking clothes. They're not going to be going through brush too much. So I do like to just, you know, any good old short is going to work for me. Cotton t-shirt, exactly like what I have on here, just in orange. So good signaling, you know, bright colors. Again, you know, definitely if I need to be found or something, fly this. I mean, if you look here, these are all bright colors, all my clothing. So lots of bright colored fabric that I can fly as flags if I need to. Also, though, cotton is super comfortable in the summer, super breathable. You know, cotton kills, they say, in wet scenarios. So don't, you know, I'm not going to wear this in the winter when I'm thinking that, oh, I need to stay warm, I better grab my cotton shirt. No, that's not what I'm thinking at all. But being that it is a natural material, it does have heat insulating properties, and I can put it on over my silk, say, and then throw my thermal over the top of that, then throw on a puffy, then throw on the rain jacket. I mean, you know, layered in, it's not going to be a killer, if you will. But yeah, super comfortable for camp, bright color, good to go. Another pair of underwear, of course, and another silk layer, you know, just to kind of stay fresh. I love these silk layers. I would definitely choose this over something like a Under Armour. Sorry, you know, the Under Armour compression one. It's just, like I said, it just holds to me too tight. I like this better. It's a more natural feel. Has some heat retention properties. It's not cold focused or heat focused. It's just a good balancing layer. I also have another pair of underwear in here. I just saved myself 4 ounces. Definitely not going to use that. 2 pairs is fine. You know, 1 change of clothes, totally good. Get to camp, wash your clothes, have them drying, have your switched into your other set. You're good to go. So that's all the basic clothing I carry. I wouldn't really up anything but my thermal, and the only reason I want to change that up, besides the aforementioned reasons, is also that I'm looking at the Expedition series from, let me check my notes on that real quick. The Expedition series, sorry, I'm not prepared here. -33 merino wool Expedition series, much warmer, I believe. Of course, I haven't tried it, but being that it's their Expedition series, they're super heavy duty line. We're good to go for that. I want that. This is my rain layer. It's the Marmot Precip, and it's done me very well. It keeps me nice and dry. It definitely doesn't leak or anything, but these pit zips are open all the time. You know why? Because this thing is sweaty. I was hoping that I was buying a rain layer, a rain jacket, waterproof jacket, I guess, that was breathable, and that is not the case with this, and that's really unfortunate. Doesn't really bother me too much, although, you know, you don't want to, you know, if it's raining, my point is to stay dry when I put that on. I don't want to get wet. So if it's making me sweat and I'm getting wet, it really defeats the purpose and is kind of a bummer. Although I don't know many rain jackets that are breathable enough to be considered breathable. I mean, everybody I talk to, they sweat in their rain layers. So if you know something or you've used something that is very breathable and you feel good, you don't sweat in for a rain jacket, let me know. Otherwise, I'm switching to Frog Togs. This thing is heavy. Frog Togs weigh, probably the whole set weighs less than this jacket, and don't even make me break out the waterproof pants that comes with this set. They are heavy. So for the weight, for the fact that they don't breathe for Jack, I'm just going to switch it up and go to Frog Togs. Unfortunately, I will lose the bright color. I don't believe Frog Togs makes like a bright orange or anything, but if they did, I would definitely go with that. I do like having these layers be bright. You know, lots of bright colors there, lots of bright fabric. That in mind, let's move on to the last line of heating defense. This is a 650 fill Mountain Hardwear Puffy. It's a very good jacket. It's done me very well. I got it on discount, that's why it's bright yellow. But I got a killer deal on it, and it's a really nice jacket. I've definitely abused it. It's filthy, absolutely filthy. But I used to wear it as a daily because I was carrying an army, like an old Swedish jacket, wool pullover. That was awesome. It really great. I mean, I really do enjoy it. It's just so much heavier for the weight. A puffy like this is unbeatable. I mean, it's super warm. Basically a sleeping bag that you just wear. So I do prize my puffy. I really do like it a lot. Great piece of kit, but you have to be careful because they're super delicate and you don't want to get it wet. You don't want to be messing around with the fire with one of these things. Coals would just eat this up. Little sparks land on this thing and just, you'd have pock marks all over the thing and it would just be a problem. So, huge fan of it for the weight to warmth ratio. Like I said, unbeatable. I really, really do enjoy it. That being said, yeah, it has some drawbacks, but everything does, and it's just a matter of balancing out, you know, what kind of stuff you plan to be doing. You know, we're definitely, as we move forward with the series, we're breaking it down kind of more the bushcraft side, wild camping, kind of more rugged style, versus backpacking, ultralight, you know, staying focused on being on trail and, you know, very minimal handling of materials. Just two different schools of thought, but I think it'd be good to cover that because I think a lot of what I'd like to provide for backpackers is just a general understanding of comfort on the trail, comfort covering lots of miles. So going lightweight, understanding basic survival deal and basic wild preparation in case they need to fashion something for first aid, fashion something for fire. But yeah, we'll try to separate when the time comes those videos from each other. Recent upgrade to my pack are flip-flops. These are kind of heavy-duty flip-flops. They're like leather and stuff. They're, you know, a little bit more robust. I would totally be down for swapping into something really much more basic because these are just to be worn around at camp. A lot of the time you can just go barefoot. I'm totally down with that. These are nice for like water crossings though, although that's not the best because it doesn't hold on your foot so well. But it's something for you to step on slimy rocks with, pokey rocks. I mean, it's just a nice protection layer for your feet. And when you get to camp, kick off your boots, slip your feet into these. Your feet are going to be able to breathe all the fresh air they want, and they're going to dry out nice. And these are just, it's great. It really is a big plus to the pack. So I highly recommend something like this. My uncle uses Crocs. They work great too. A little bit better for water crossings, I believe. Not quite as breathable, but they're still super breathable. They got holes all over them, and yeah, they're good, a good investment. But I definitely suggest something to get your feet out of the boots because after, you know, 10, 12 miles, your feet are going to be sore, they're going to be sweaty, and all around they're going to be hot. I mean, you just want to get them out and freshen them up. So definitely something to consider there. But yeah, that's it. That's all the clothing wise. That's all there really is, and it's very basic. Right here, this is just a change of clothes. This is just core temperature management. Same thing, core temperature management and waterproof. It's pretty basic, and I think that your clothing shouldn't, rather not shouldn't, but you may not want to load up a bunch of clothes. You're not going to even, most of the time, people don't even change their clothes. Totally guilty of it. Once. You know what I mean? I'm fine with it. I'm not ashamed of it. Underwear, just bring one. Wash the other pair. They dry super fast. It doesn't have to be a full even change of clothes. You can totally just hang out in what you got. Although for something like a long trail PCT kind of situation, I'm sure you want to change of clothes and really wash what you're wearing, because you're going to be in those same clothes for months. Hygienically, it's probably a good idea, let alone the rest of it. So I guess I could tie in hygiene with this series. I'm going to tie hygiene in with my food just because it's in my food can. Mostly because of it has smells and stuff which you want to keep away from your general area. So we'll get into that later. But yeah, for now, this is the clothing. I hope it's been helpful, somewhat insightful. I'm open to ideas in clothing, though. I know some people like to bring long johns and stuff like that at night, and if you do get cold at night, or you feel like your sleeping bag is a little under-prepared for your area, it's a good idea to have another, a long john, kind of full coverage, more warming layers. I used to carry big socks. Maybe find those for you. Oh. I do not know where I put them. Huge socks. I have mountaineering socks. Big, fat wool socks, thicker than my beanie. Twice the fabric as my beanie in the pair. And yeah, they're great. I mean, you could stick your feet outside in a freezing night and your feet would be just fine. Not quite, but there's some creature comforts you may want. Some things you like for bedtime. Maybe you want to bring a little eye cover because you need it. But I highly doubt it, because you're not going to be worried about that kind of stuff when you're hiking a long trail. You're going to pass right out. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed the series so far. I've been having a blast making it. It's been a lot of fun. And I know that there's a lot of irregularities and a lot of things that aren't streamlined yet. But, I'm just working on it, doing it for fun. And I hope that it's enjoyable and more importantly, rather, informational and helpful. So please leave me some comments, let me know what you think, and I look forward to making another one for you. Thank you so much.